Okay, TJ will be our last of the day and our best of the day. Who would like the first question? Okay.
TJ, I know you've probably been asked 800 times today about it, but you guys have arguably the toughest schedule in the nation. Do you guys get excited about the prospect of getting to play some of the top, I guess, 3 of the top 5 teams in the country?
Yeah, definitely. Just knowing that you're going to play against the best of the best it's always exciting, and I think guys are looking forward to it.
Okay.
TJ, Sheldon Hager with WBRC here in Birmingham. I saw on Twitter you're on a plane flying over here today. This has got to be great where you're traveling halfway across the country, doing something, you fly back, and in this modern day of technology and stuff like that. Just talk about the excitement of being treated like a really big star right now.
It's definitely something new. It's not something that I'm necessarily used to, but it's really cool just to see the ins and outs and just understanding like the bigger side, the outside of football and the things that go along with it that doesn't include just playing.
Camera bank.
TJ, Joe Cook, WLTX. For you, how healthy do you feel right now, and what is a healthy TJ Brunson? What do you think, 100% full go, what do you think that's going to look like this year?
I feel really good. I feel like this offseason has been a key offseason for me. I felt the best that I've felt in years. So just going into this season, I feel like you're going to be able to see a lot more explosiveness and speed and just a lot more execution when it comes to finishing plays.
Okay, right here.
TJ, did you play a lot of last season banged up?
Yeah.
I guess what was that like, trying to kind of mentally overcome that and play with some nagging things going on?
You basically just come in with the mindset to go to work, and whatever's going on with you, you have to, do what you can to help that. But you can't really you can only do but so much, so you have to kind of put it in the back of your head and focus on the job that needs to be done.
Second row right here.
TJ, what are kind of your expectations for this linebacker group coming off last season? Where do you feel like you guys were, and what are sort of the expectations going forward?
I feel like last year we weren't as consistent and confident and just making plays and finishing plays. That wasn't what we did well last year, and I think going into this season there'll be a huge improvement in that because of the way that we've prepared and the way, just the experience. Experience has been the best teacher for me, so I just see those younger guys taking the steps that they need to be better, and knowing that they're taking those steps will also help with the experience that they have. So,
Second row in the back.
TJ, Mike Hugo, Watch Fox in Columbia, South Carolina. As someone that grew up going to these games, playing at R&E, you were a diehard Gamecock fan, you're going with your family and everything. What would younger TJ say to himself going into a season like this? I mean, you're here at SEC Media Days and you're one of the leaders of a team you grew up in and loved.
Keep going. Like, you've made it here. Like, you have a lot more to do and a lot more things to do outside of football that you can, you have the opportunity to do because you played football. And just don't forget, like, where you started at. Just be happy about where you're at now.
To your right here in the third row.
Hi, TJ. Leah Williams, WAFBU and Baton Rouge. As a senior, what are some things that you want the younger players to learn from you or from the other seniors on the team?
I'd like those guys to learn how to bounce back from adversity. That's what playing football has been the past couple of years, and just understanding like things aren't always going to go your way or the way that you want it to go, but you can only control your response and your reaction to whatever happens. And I think that's the biggest thing, just understanding like it's not going to be easy. It's never going to be easy, and you're always going to have to fight for what you want and the things that you want to have done. So that's one of the biggest things I want guys to understand. And just know that they need to keep working regardless of the situation.
Front row to the right here.
Josh Hyber, Spurs and Feathers. TJ, you just talked about executing and finishing plays, and I know during the offseason you can't do much contact drills, but what makes you think that this year will be better in regards to finishing tackles and finishing up plays and making those plays on the ball carriers?
Being healthy makes a huge difference, I think, and just understanding like angles and everything, and just the preparation that we put in for it. I think that'll all come into play, and it'll all mold into one. And I think that'll be the biggest improvement from last year.
Cameron Bank on the second row to your right.
TJ, I'm just curious, what do you think about SEC Media Days? I believe this is your first one. Just all the cameras, all the attention. What's maybe the craziest thing you've seen or heard, or maybe the weirdest question you've been asked today?
I think I haven't been a big, I haven't paid much attention to what's been going on, but I see all the cameras and all of the different guys here, and understanding that everyone has an opinion, and the predictions and stuff. Some of the predictions are crazy, and just knowing everyone they have a certain way that they feel about one team, or they can look at the stats but not really understand what's been going on through the off season for that team and how they've improved. And you never really know until the season comes, but just being up here has been awesome, and seeing the behind the scenes work almost, and just how busy everything is and how big the SEC is to the nation. It's really cool.
Back row of the camera bank again.
TJ, you were able to learn from a lot of great players and leaders that played in front of you. What were you able to take away that has helped you get to this point?
To have staying power. Like I said earlier, it's not going to be easy. It never is. But you just have to learn to keep fighting and find what makes you want to be you, what makes you want to go hard every day, and just stick to it.
In the front right here.
During spring practice, what was it like watching, Ernest and Derek and whoever else was working at your spot as you're on the sidelines, not being able to be out there?
I was happy for those guys to see them get in and play fast and play with confidence, and just get better, because at the end of the day we're gonna need those guys, and they need to be ready for it in case they have to go in. And just seeing those guys go in and with the mindset of getting better, and just playing together, being able to mesh together and stuff, it was really nice. You have some confidence, after I leave, I know that those guys will be good. So
How much has Ernest kind of grown through his first year, and I guess with Derek coming in early, what did you see from him in his first?
Ernest has taken on a bigger role, going into this year, and just understanding he's one of the guys. He's not necessarily an old head yet, but he's a guy that knows the system a little bit more, and he puts in the work to understand it as well. So just knowing he's going to be ready, he's going to be fine, is pretty good. And Derek's a guy who's been putting in a lot of work too, and just the same amount, film and treatment or whatever he has to do, working out, just seeing all of those guys take the game to the next level has been really, really good to see. And it just makes it makes me a lot more excited going into this season, knowing that I get to play next to these guys and play with these guys.
On the cameras.
Earlier you said something about how looking at stats, you aren't able to see what has been happening in the off season. So what do you think is different about this team this year that will make that difference that you've been talking about in the off season?
I think our mentality this year is a lot more. It's a lot more serious. It's a lot more. There's a lot more seniority. So from top down, you got a lot more guys understanding what we want to accomplish, and because you have older guys, you have some people who can enforce that without needing the coaches to say anything or do anything. So just knowing you have guys who are all in, and they're willing to do whatever it takes, makes it a lot easier.
Second row here.
Have you taken a look at the depth chart that they published at the beginning of this week, or have you not seen that?
I haven't seen it. My dad called and told me about it, but I haven't seen it personally.
What was that kind of funny that even though you're obviously going to be a starter, to not have your name on it, have a couple younger guys in there?
That's what happened.
Yes.
At like middle linebacker and stuff.
Yeah, your name just wasn't on there because you were hurt all.
Oh. It's not a big deal. I mean, I have to earn my spot. I was out all spring, so I have to kind of earn my spot when I get back, but it's not a big deal.
Fair enough. And also, what has Jamar Brown been able to kind of show you? I know he's been on campus long, but what sort of stood out with his game?
I think he's going to be a really good player for us. He's really smart. He's driven. He wants to win. That was one of the first things I picked up from him. He's not a guy who likes to lose, but you know, he's been putting in a lot of work the past couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play, and I think the coaches are too. Like, he'll be a really good player for us. He's a smart kid.
Okay, we have one final question here. We go.
Going back to what I was asking about in the other room about strong guys on the team, out of the just linebacker group, who's strongest, who's the fastest, like some of those kind of attributes, like who are some of the best and those kind of things?
I think Sherrod Green will be it's the tie between Sherrod Green and Eldridge Thompson. I don't know who's faster. It could be El. El used to play wide receiver, and Sherrod ran track. So both of those guys can fly. I got the strongest. Definitely got that. I think. What else is there? Like. I think the cool thing about it is everyone has their thing, and you take guys who have their thing, and the coaches teach us what they want us to do and following the scheme and stuff, and then you put one of those guys next to someone else, and you have like a complete package out on the field at the same time. So I think that's really cool, just knowing that guys like. You have guys who can run, you have guys who are strong, and the good thing about our room is everyone can run and everyone's strong.
Thank you very much, TJ. Appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank y'all.